Hey guys, it's Anthony Bandiero here, attorney and senior legal instructor with Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training, bringing you another Roadside Chat from the studio. Let's get right into this. This question comes from California, and the officer is asking about the stale misdemeanor rule. So I guess the question is what is the stale misdemeanor rule? Okay, and I'm gonna give you a scenario to apply it to. All right. The stale misdemeanor rule is a common law doctrine that essentially means that if a crime was committed within the officer's presence and he or she could arrest that person right then and there, right? But yet waits and doesn't arrest and then arrests sometime down the road, let's say the next day, next week, whatever, then makes that arrest. Courts have held that that is a stale arrest. It's a stale misdemeanor, and the appropriate response is not to arrest them anymore, but to submit a warrant request or give them a citation and kick them loose. So the first thing is this stale misdemeanor rule is not really alive and well in too many states. It is alive in California, but it's the case law on this doctrine is very limited. And the idea behind it is that, we don't want this threat of arrest hanging over people's heads that simply commit a misdemeanor in the officer's presence. And then, because you have a year and a day usually to file the charges. We don't want this hanging over the person's head forever. So like if you saw a person breaching the peace, right? Disorderly conduct. Let's just go with that. Disorderly conduct on Saturday. And you go up to him and you say, hey, knock it off, right? Or you don't do anything. And then you don't, and then the next week you see the same guy and you decide just to arrest him for that disorderly conduct that happened last week. The courts don't see that being legitimate for a misdemeanor that you didn't arrest for before. Okay, so there it is. It's again, a very rarely used doctrine in courts, but let's apply it to some facts. So my officer friend here says, look, cops investigate a domestic, right? And the husband is not home. He took off on foot, but we have probable cause. So the officer on that shift writes a PC declaration for the husband. They hand it off to the next shift and say, hey, if you can find him, here you go. Here's the, here's the PC declaration. It's all ready to go. You can book him in. The next shift finds him, or the next morning they find him. They then arrest him, right? And we go to court. Was that a stale misdemeanor? And the answer, in my opinion, the answer is no. Because one of the issues here is that arrest does not have to be, that crime does not have to be in the committed in the officer's presence to even begin with. Think about it. The state legislature has told cops in California that you can arrest somebody for domestic even if it was never committed in your presence. So I think that it gets around the whole the stale misdemeanor rule from the very beginning, right? So that's why I don't think it's an issue. So now we do have probable cause. It's a lawful arrest. He was in a public place when we found him, or we lawfully got into the house, whatever. I don't think it's a problem. All right. So while arresting, if you found drugs on this person, a gun, whatever, I think that evidence is coming in. It's not going to be suppressed under the stale misdemeanor doctrine. My final point is, this is just more for fun, a little academic. If your DA really has a problem of arresting somebody later for a misdemeanor, like domestic or whatever, they'll let you know. If it's not a problem for them, it's not a problem for you. This issue doesn't come up much, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Anyway, so it's kind of academic in a sense, but it is a very good question, especially in California, because they do have the stale misdemeanor rule. All right. Hope it helps. Guys, hit like or comment if you like what I'm doing. Hit subscribe, share with your friends. Also visit bluetogold.com, see what we're doing there, right? Our live training and so forth. And until next time, my friends, stay safe.
When it comes to law enforcement training, we are the gold standard. Visit bluetogold.com or call 888-579-7796 to learn more about our training, books, and free webinars. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel.